Hey, hey, how's it, how's it going? What's up, all you doodles and doodlers out there, you schemers and dreamers, and welcome back to another episode of Doodle Talk. This should be episode 38. Have some weird timeline things going on with some of the guest episodes, but this should be episode 38. Welcome in, have a seat, get comfy. We got a chill one today. It's just gonna be a chill episode today, and just gonna go over some of the stuff that's been going on the past couple of weeks, because one of the things is, the past couple of weeks I've been having these guest episodes, and I've been recording the guest episodes too, and I guess it's been 2 weeks now, because I didn't have time. I recorded one with my buddy Jace last week, which should already be out, so check that one out if you haven't. But normally if I have a guest, like for right now, I've been trying to double record so that I have extra ones for when I'm going back to the States and I won't have time to record Doodle Talks. I really just need one more. I didn't have time to record the extra one though. So that means that this is the next like most recent one. So it's been like oh my gosh, no, it's only been a week. It's only been a week, but by the time this comes out, it'll be like almost 2 weeks since like my last you get what I mean. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to recap, a lot of stuff to go over, and I am one of the things I was thinking about a lot this past couple weeks with I've been really busy. My friend Jace came into town. I'm gearing up to go back home for almost 2 weeks, back to Texas here in a little while, and my work, like my translating work and stuff, has been insane, just trying to keep up with all that. And I haven't had a lot of time for art recently, which I mentioned this in like 1 or 2 episodes ago, where I was like, it's okay, because I was kind of forcing myself to take a step back and like kind of slowly just figure out what I really want to do with like the YouTube channel and stuff, and that coinciding with like taking some time off. One of the topics, like I want to go over a bunch of stuff today, just fill you guys in on what I've been doing recently, but then I also want to just briefly talk about like taking time off for yourself, but finding the balance where like it's good finding the balance that'll help you still like be productive and creative, because a lot of people preach about there's 2 kind of camps, right? There's a camp where it's like you should just hustle and grind. If you heard the episode with Ryan that he was on recently, we talked a lot about hustle culture. There's people who are just be like, you gotta just hustle, you gotta just like break your back every day, push it, like no days off, blah blah. And then there are people who are kind of like on the opposite side of the camp, where it's like, love yourself, give yourself time, like it's okay, it's all gonna be okay. And like 99.9% of things in this world, I think the better balance is kind of somewhere in the middle. So I just want to touch on that. But let's start off. Let's do this properly, and I'm gonna kind of just like go chronologically so that this all makes a little bit more sense, and so it's just easier for me to keep a handle on, because I was already veering off into a tangent there. But just at the top, just want to give a shout out to Jace, my buddy Jace, who came on the last episode. This is his t-shirt. Crazy Skateboards is like the little brand that he has, and super sick. Thank you, Jace. Thanks for the t-shirt. I was like, I'm saving that for the Doodle Talk. I haven't worn it until now. Yeah, pretty nice. Fits me well, so that's good. I'm a big dude, so kind of hard to find t-shirts that fit me. But all right, let's start. And I'll just start with like, there's not a lot of art updates besides the comic should be finished. I'm trying to finish it this weekend, and I might be able to do that. But if not, by the time this comes out, it should be finished. It'll be finished. I don't know if it'll be posted yet. And I was working on a video for it, and I'm really not 100% sure like the comic's getting finished. That's already been decided. Like I'm almost done with it, and it'll be cool to finish. I don't know if there's gonna be enough there for like a full YouTube video. At the like worst case scenario, I might just throw up, because I have a bunch of like the time lapse and the process of working on it. Worst case scenario, I might just throw up a time lapse video with some music just to get another video up. Like, just for anyone who's curious, because it is like, you know, it's not the best production value in the world, or like, to me they're not, like, time lapse videos aren't really the most fun or like the coolest videos in the world, but especially for something like this where it's not just one like single illustration, it's kind of my whole process of like, I even did like the storyboards and like drawing it out analog on like paper, scanned everything in, and then did it all, finishing everything on my iPad. So it's at least got this kind of like interesting value to it, and I had a story I kind of wanted to tell with the video, like the making of. So it might come together, I'm not really sure, but at the very least there should be a video. That one will probably, the comic will probably be out by the time this podcast drops, but I'm really not sure about the video. But by the time this podcast is out as well, there should be a little vlog video, because I've already basically finished it. I just don't know when I'm posting it yet. It's a little vlog video from this past weekend when me and Jace went to Yokohama, and we went to the Pokemon Worlds like championships in Yokohama, but we also did a ton of other stuff. We went to Shin-Yokohama, around there. There's a skate park in Shin-Yokohama, and we went there and skated. I met one of Jace's friends that he's a Japanese guy who lives in Japan, and he's like from Yokohama. He lives further south, but I think he has family in Yokohama. And so he was visiting, and it was awesome because he's super awesome dude. He speaks like fluent English, which is always awesome. And yeah, that was so much fun. We did a ton of things. We went around to like the Pokemon Center and stuff in Shibuya, and I just took video. Like we kind of decided, like, we were like, let's try and make like a YouTube video. Like we weren't sure if we wanted to do the full on like vlogging style of, like, you know, where you're kind of doing the selfie and you're like, hey guys, we're here at this blah blah blah. We did a little bit of that, but as I was editing it, I noticed that it was coming together just more as like a really cool, like, chill video with I was gonna do a voiceover and like explain everything as well, but as it kind of came together and I put the music onto it and stuff, it kind of just started working really well as just like a chill, like, watch the trip 5-6 minute little, I guess it's still vlogging, but it's kind of just more like a chill video, and it's not like a very involved kind of, like, because I'll explain it more as we get into the Yokohama stuff, or like as I'm explaining what we were doing. But I don't think we didn't do enough like intensive individual things where I didn't have enough footage as well to like really flesh out, like, it didn't warrant me writing a script, and there wasn't really enough stuff to like just talk about, and which is okay, because it really does just come together a lot better as just like a fun little, like, kind of like mini travel vlog kind of video, you know, with just some music in the background. And yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna release it as. And I tried kind of like doing some voiceovers and like mocking what it would be, like mocking up some voiceovers and seeing how it would work, and I think it's gonna work better this way. So that should be out as well, so check that out if you're interested. That's like the first time I've ever really done a vloggy type video. There was only one other time in the new year I went to a shrine, but that was a short. That was only just a like vertical short form one. This one's a full-on, just like, you know, regular kind of vloggy YouTube video, which isn't really my favorite thing to do, but this was really fun to make, so I'm considering doing some other stuff like that. But let's rewind the clock. Let's do this properly. Okay, so before I go on any more tangents, I wanted to just really go back, start from the top. And so 2 weeks-ish ago, so my buddy Ryan came on. We did another podcast, and that was super fun. Go check that out if you haven't. We talked about like the new Futurama, hustle culture, and like hustle bros, and like what parts of that are really lame, and like what you can do to kind of like avoid that, or like how as a society we can like try and fix it, or like, you know, like not have so many like scammers and just people not contributing anything important to society and just trying to make money. And summertime in Japan, kind of went over some rehash some fond memories and some stories from Japan, and yeah, it was really good. And then this past week, Jace, then the week after that, I recorded with Jace, because Jace came here, so he was here in my house, and hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't, go check it out. It's the first podcast where someone's actually here in my room and like, it was awesome. I really liked doing it that way, and like me and Jace go way back. Same with Ryan. Like, the reason I can do these podcasts with some of my friends like that is just because it's so easy to talk to them, and we would have these conversations whether or not there were mics in front of us, you know. So, which is one of the cool thing about podcasting, is like, because sometimes you really do have cool conversations, and well, yeah, it sucks to think like, oh man, I wish we had been recording that, because then you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of taking away the like being in the moment, like being present for things. But you know, when you plan it out and it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna talk about whatever. Like, Jace was really worried or like nervous about coming on. I was like, dude, we have like interesting conversations all the time, don't worry. And then we like went like over 2 hours, and I haven't finished editing it yet, but I'm gonna have to cut out a bunch of stuff just to like make it kind of like, you know, a little more compact and condensed and concise. So yeah, it's easier than you think. When you have two people, it's so much easier than you think. Solo podcasting, I think, is really hard to start, but even then, like, now that I'm used to it, I think I've gotten better at solo podcasting. Like, I could go on for like an hour and a half easy, and I have to really just be careful, and like, because you do start to like repeat yourself, or you go on rants that people may not find interesting, like I'm doing right now. But no, it was really fun, and having Jace here was awesome. I tried my best to make like a studio setup where it would work. Like, the mics and everything were fine. I couldn't, this screen door thing behind me is not long enough to get both of us, but I think it's gonna look okay. Not too bad. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. We talked about a ton of things, so it's even kind of hard. Like, we talked a lot about like growing up back in the day, like meeting some of our friends for the first time, how me and Jace first met. If you want some like old school skate bus lore and stuff like that, skate bus was the skate shop that we all went to and kind of grew up with back in Frisco, Texas. And we got into a bunch of nerdy stuff too, like TCGs, trading cards, and Pokemon, and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of nerdy stuff, all kinds of skateboarding stuff, all kinds of just like nostalgic talking. And hopefully, if you don't know Jace, or if you don't really know me either, like, I think it'll still be interesting. But if you you know, if you were a skateboarder growing up, or if you were in a similar like friend group, I think you'll really find it interesting, because there's always those parallels between those types of friend groups. And I love kind of like hearing those like origin stories of like good friends and how they meet, and stuff like that is really always interesting to me. So I think it'll be good. And if you like Pokemon cards and stuff like that, and it's a good one to check out. You'll definitely like it. As always, I'm gonna have, I bookmark everything, or like, what do you call it? Like, I have it like, you know, I have the chapters labeled for like the video for like each topic that we're talking about. So if you're ever not, even in these solo ones like this, if you want to just skim around and like you notice like, oh, he's talking about Pokemon cards at 33 minutes in, let me just skip to that. That's totally fine. That's never gonna like hurt my feelings. So if you ever wanted to do that, or like, you know, that's what they're there for. You have those little chapters and stuff like that, because you want people to know what you're I love it when I have to do it now, because it's so nice and convenient when people do that. Even if I'm watching the whole thing, if it's, especially like for podcasts, like sometimes it's just a neat little like trivia thing, almost like a fun little thing to be like, oh, what is this, what do they call this part, or like I don't know, it's a nice little thing to see. So that was great. Having Jace here was awesome, and I guess that's what we'll start there then. because Jace came to Tokyo from he's staying in Okayama, which is a prefecture further south near like Hiroshima. So if that helps you get a placement on the map of Japan. And he came up for the weekend, or like 3 days ish, and we so he came here the first day, and then we recorded the Doodle Talk. It was awesome. We went and got some lunch. I got to take him, so me and Asami took him to our favorite burger place here in the city we live in, and it was awesome. Super hot though, and they have a patio, which normally isn't too bad, but damn, it was it was hot that day, which is okay. I had a ice cold beer and a burger outside, so can't complain too much. Showed him a little bit of the city. We came back here, recorded the Doodle Talk, which was sick, and then we went and skated a little park near my house, like kind of near my house, and that was fun. But there weren't. We thought there were gonna be more lights. Japan's terrible at having like street lights and things lit up. I should have guessed, but that was really fun. And then so we woke up early the next day and we went to Yokohama for Pokemon Worlds. That like Pokemon Worlds was kind of like the main goal. We didn't like I said before, we didn't have any tickets or anything, because it's all based off of like a lot. You have to like enter a lottery system to even like try and buy the ticket, kind of thing, which is really typical in Japan. It can be really annoying. Like getting tickets for the Ghibli Museum is really hard, and I get it, because if there's a high demand, like you kind of have to use a system like that. But I don't know, the lottery kind of sucks, because Ghibli is like first come first serve, and I get the pros and cons for both. But I mean, long story short, we didn't have any like events that we could like actually go into. I didn't have the money to buy anything like that anyway, so it didn't matter. But we knew that we could just like go to the venue, and there was there was like an art walk that was around like the main city center, like around the venue where they're having it, and they had all these cool things. Go check out the little vlog video that I put up if you want to see. Like they had these giant like Pokemon cards that were like in this little mall area, and like they had a giant Pikachu card. Up top they had this giant like balloon that was like Pikachu's face, and then below it was like, I don't know, like 100 feet by 50 feet, like a print of a giant Pikachu card. And then they had these like big ones that were like, I don't know, probably as big as this like screen door or taller, like 7 foot by like 5 foot, kind of like giant big Pokemon cards of like, we were trying to figure out what the theme was, but those ones seem to be all of like the legendaries that have come out in the past like 10 years, like the Pokemon cards. It was because there's some pretty old sets in there. And then so we were just chilling around there, right? And before that, let me backtrack a second. So we were going to Yokohama, right? And the first thing we were doing is we were going to go to the skate park. There's a skate park in Shin-Yokohama, which is just, you know, another like outside of, next to regular Yokohama City. And that's where we met up with Jace's friend. And this skate park is so cool. This is the first like legit skate park I've been to in Japan, which is kind of crazy to say, but there's not a lot. And you know, skating has not been a very popular, or like it's not looked upon very well in Japan. It's changing a little bit in the past couple years, basically thanks to Yuto Horigome and like some of the other skaters that are coming up and like kind of making skating cool. Like they're winning Olympic gold medals and stuff. So I think Japanese people are like, oh, that's cool, like maybe it is a good thing. But there's still not a lot of parks. Like street skating in Japan is really hard and pretty dangerous. It's just as far as like you're gonna get tickets out the ass, and you're gonna get like I'm here on a visa, you know, like I have to be kind of careful with that kind of stuff. But you know, that's all just to say I haven't been to a lot of skate parks. I've been to like some little ones, right? But this was like a full-on big proper skate park, and it's so awesome because it has just like a little beginner section where it's just like kind of like you can go warm up. There's not a lot of things. It's a lot of just flat ground. These sick little banks that you can go up and down. Also, by the way, I will have like just a skate edit, because we got some clips, we got some footage from the parks, just chilling around, skating, not doing anything crazy, right? But that should also be up. I forgot to mention that. That'll also be up, so check that out if you want. I think I'm just gonna put it up on the art YouTube channel, because I don't really think I'm gonna be making a lot of other videos like that. And this is it's just for fun. Just gonna throw it up there. I know it doesn't have to do anything with art or whatever, but I don't really know where else to put it. Or it'll just be on my Instagram. So if it's not on my YouTube, it'll be on my Instagram. Go check it out, because it's me, Jace, and Chica, which is Jace's friend, and he's super sick. He does a lot of like old school like pressure flips, and like the first we get there, and the first thing he does is like a hand plant, goes like up a like wall. I don't even know what you call it, like hand plant, like pops up, grabs it, comes off the wall, and does like a flip with it, and then lands back on the board. I was like, holy shit, dude. And I got that on film too, so that was cool. But no, the park was super awesome. I hadn't properly skated in like a year, basically, since the last time Jace was here, and I was just skating around on his board, because I don't like skating by myself, and it's always so much more fun when you have friends. And I was really worried, because the board I have here too isn't really a shape that the size is perfect, which is, it's unfortunate because like the size is so nice, but the shape of the tail and the nose are a little off, a little weird for me. It's a little bit more tailored for like if you're a bowl skater, if you're more of a vert skater. It's a little bit harder for like flip tricks and stuff, which is, I like to just skate street, skate flat ground, do a lot of flip tricks and stuff. But I started getting used to it, and I was able to skate way better than I thought I was going to be. Like once I got warmed up, that's the nice thing, is like the muscle memory of skating for like so many years, it comes back to you. And when you're at a nice park like that, like the ground is nice, all the stuff you're skating on is like pretty nice, high quality, so you really can just like push it, you know, and you can get a lot of the stuff back that you didn't think you would be able to. And that was awesome. We skated there for a few hours. It was super hot, but the nice thing is it's like it's next to a giant stadium, the Nissan Stadium, and it has like a bridge. It's like kind of built under a bridge, and not next to the road, but like a different bridge. And like next to it, it's kind of like a sports facility too, where there's like soccer fields and stuff like that. And then the nice thing though is that it's built under the bridge is like half of it's in shade the whole time, and the other half is kind of out in the open. So if you need to, you just go under in the shade. Like I haven't been to the skate park in Odaiba, which is supposed to be pretty cool too, but I would probably say this, like I need to go there. I would want to check it out, but this is probably my favorite park in all of Japan. Like it's super sick, especially if you're just like a casual skater like I am. If you're in Japan and you like skating, if you have not been there, check it out. It's in Shin-Yokohama. I think Kozukue is the closest station, and then you just walk like 5-10 minutes over there. So that was super awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I think that was the funnest part of the whole weekend for me, which is cool, which is really awesome. Like, dude, skating with the homies, like, man, and I hadn't seen Jace in like over a year, so it was really awesome. And just like, because Jace was saying too, he was like, that felt like, I forgot what he said, but he was saying like that felt like when you skate a park as a kid and you just have like the time of your life and you're with your friends. And I was like, yes, dude, that's exactly how I felt, because I met Chica, his friend, for the first time, and it felt like we had already been friends for years, just because it's another skater and he speaks English too, which was nice for us. I mean, for Jace especially. But like, so we were all three able to communicate real easily, and like you just meet some people sometimes and you're like, oh yeah, we're just instantly like gonna gel, like he's gonna be, it was really awesome. It was nice meeting him. He's super sick too, super friendly. Like, I don't know, man, like if you've never skated, you might not know kind of what I'm talking about, but like when you go to the park and you meet up with some homies, and it's just like, the thing that's beautiful, this is something I've thought about more as I've gotten older too, is like when you're exercising and you're skating, you're letting off all the stress. That's why when you see in a skate video when people are like slamming their boards down and like screaming and like getting pissed off because you're fucking pissed that you can't land a trick, but it's also like, it may seem kind of like dumb or like bro-y to kind of like be freaking out, but what you're doing is you're just getting all the stress out. You're like you're releasing your energy in the purest way possible, which is just like shouting. Like, you don't it's really funny because if you just think about, like, if you finish your job at the office and you're really stressed out and you like went walking to your car, you're just like, ah! If you started screaming, like, people are like, what the fuck, Gary, are you okay, dude? But skateboarding, it's kind of like culturally it's okay to do stuff like that, because it's like, oh, he's pissed, he wants to land the trick. Like, maybe you don't approach that person like right away, or give him some encouragement, you know? Like, you gotta be like, okay, like, let him cool down. But you know, that's all it is. They're just doing that. And the thing is, you're exercising, you're releasing endorphins, you know, like your serotonin's going up, and it's just like, it's like a cool, awesome like drug that everyone's on. You're just like skating around, and like you're all exercising, you're all like doing something really healthy, and you're just like, you're using your brain to, it's crazy looking back at skating as I'm older now and I don't do it as much. As like, I'm so glad that I did, and like the friendships and like the camaraderie that happens through being a skater and stuff like that is amazing. And I just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit, because like I said, I think that was my favorite part of the weekend, and I'm so glad I did that, and it was awesome. And like getting some clips too was so sick. I was doing this I tried this line where I just did a board slide I went up on board, slid on the box, and then I did a tray flip, and I landed it first try, which was so sick. It wasn't very good, but I landed it first try, and that was just like so hype. And then I cleaned it up, I landed a better version, and then I got like one more other trick. Jace and Chica got some clips too, so check out that video. That'll be really fun. And then the cool thing too was, afterwards, Chica still had some time, so we're like, let's go eat lunch, because we were gonna check into our Airbnb in the afternoon. And so that's when we went to Shin-Yokohama station, and that's when we saw the first like Pokemon Worlds like banners and stuff on the floor, and like, oh, it was so sick. And one of the coolest things too is since Yokohama has like the Chinatown, it's like the Tokyo like kind of like Chinese district is there as well. So it's really known for like chuka ryori, like Chinese food or ramen and noodles and stuff like that. So the Pikachu for Yokohama Worlds was like a Pikachu eating ramen, which is super sick. And we wanted to get a plushie. We were trying to find like a promo card or a plushie of that, and we couldn't, which was kind of a bummer, not gonna lie. But yeah, we went to Shin-Yokohama station, had lunch, had some really good curry, some katsu kare, which is like a pork cutlet on top of like a bed of rice and curry. It was an ebisu restaurant, like the beer, like if you've ever seen, I don't have anything ebisu here, but really good beer. My favorite actually in Japan. Ebisu, it's spelled like yebisu, has a Y, but it's pronounced ebisu. And yeah, they're my favorite beer actually, which is super sick. They own like Sapporo too, so if you like it's hard. I love Kirin, but I think I have to give it to, it goes like Sapporo, Kirin, and then Ebisu for me. Even though Ebisu and Sapporo is like the same company, they're like owned by the same people, but the beer is just a little bit different. All Japanese beer, like at a certain like high quality, it tastes really similar, but they had a really sick like lemon citrus one there. I don't think it was just like a citrus ale. It was so good. It was so refreshing, because we were all like, dude, when I was so exhausted after that, because like I said, I hadn't skated in like over a year properly. I had not skated, and I go running every week, so like my cardio was fine, which was awesome. I was so glad. I was like hoping, I was wondering how I would do. Cardio is totally fine. My legs, like the first day, obviously I'm just really tired after that, but after Jace left and I went back, my legs were sore for like 3 days. Like, it was so bad, especially my left leg, because that's why I do like the popping when you pop the skateboard, like just doing this popping. So this is my left leg, like, because you have to, when you're doing tricks. My leg was destroyed, dude. It was like nearly as sore as like when I climbed Mount Fuji, which is kind of crazy. So because we had to do it like I gotta tell the Mount Fuji story, but yeah, that's for another podcast. I might actually do that in an upcoming podcast. So going on from there, that's where we said goodbye to Chica, and then we went, you know, got our Airbnb, which was super cool. It was a sick little Airbnb, like in the middle of Shibuya. And it's kind of like we were trying to get an Airbnb in Yokohama, but they were all booked, or like $400 or $500 for like one night. So I was like, no, thank you. I got really lucky and found a cool one in Shibuya. Stayed there, or like went and like, you know, cleaned up there, and then it was time to go to Worlds. And this was the one thing, it's like we were having so much fun and chilling, and we were kind of doing a few things here and there, like in between that, for me and Jace, like little things that we wanted to see. So we got to Yokohama like a little late, probably like 6. So it was like 6:30, and the sun was about to set, and there was a few nice things about it, of like not having as many people there, but I do wish we had gotten there a little bit earlier, just so that we could have like seen the city a little bit more lit up for another hour or two. But not a big deal. It was so cool. You get to Sakuragicho station, which is really cool, because that's actually right where I stayed in Yokohama for my birthday this past year. We went to this cool Chinese Spring Festival, and that was literally the station, Sakuragicho, and that's where we stayed, at a hotel like right in front of the station. So like that spot is just so special to me now, because not only did I have an awesome birthday there and with Asami, like, and then Pokemon Worlds was there, and I went there with Jace, and like Sakuragicho is gonna be, that's a dope station for me. I'm gonna have so many good memories from there already, so it's cool. So we get there, and you know, all the Pokemon stuff is everywhere. We walk outside, there's a giant fucking blown up Pikachu, like a bounce house material, and you know, everyone's taking pictures. They had the manholes. We didn't get to go around and find any other ones, but they had one of these custom Pokemon manholes, because in Japan they don't fuck around with manholes. They have super cool designs on like almost all of them, and a lot of the time, like in the city I used to live in, Ome City, they had like the little mascot character, like a design of, it's like a little plum princess, and like that design was in the manholes. So just imagine your like average like dirty shitty manhole, maybe if you live in America, just regular manhole, but like super cute and like well designed. Like, it's cool design too, like nice material, super well designed. Sometimes they're like colored, like they have like I don't know how they do it actually. I believe it, well, I guess it's just painted, but like really nice painting and stuff too. So that was cool. And then this is the point where we got a little worried, because as we got there, you just see like droves of people coming back through and like going home, and we were like, ah shit, like I don't know, maybe we missed everything. But then we go, and we started walking towards like the main venue area, because we knew the area, but we actually weren't sure exactly like what building everything was in. Yeah, we knew the area, but we didn't know like what venue in particular it was in. So we just headed towards the area that we knew everything was kind of going on in. And you know, that's when you see there's like, because I don't know, it's like kind of like a shopping district a little bit. There's a bunch of like, it's kind of like a mall, and that's where they had the art walk, and that was really cool. So as I was explaining earlier, they had all the big cards, and they had a few like special attractions. They had like a giant Pokeball that like lit up. It was so cool. That's in the vlog video too. And they had a Pokemon Center, which is like the little store that they sell like all the goods at. But it closed. I forgot if it was 6 or 7, but it literally closed like 30 minutes before we got there, and we were like, fuck, because I think that's where we could have gotten some of like the exclusive merch, which was a huge bummer. But just seeing all the stuff was really cool. They also had like, they have this little like in between two of the buildings, there's like an outside like plaza area where they have like these steps that go down to this little thing, and there's always like a street performer, which is like, that's when me and Jace were talking about it. I was like, I really don't like those like magicians or like street performers and stuff. Like sometimes it's kind of fun, but they really try and get like the crowd involved, and it's like sometimes I'm just here to check it out. Like, I'm just resting my legs for 10 minutes, dude. Don't like, hey, you guys in the back, like, start clapping and stuff. Like, oh god, it just gets really cringe really fast. But they had that kind of stuff too. And then, so we made our way through there. I kind of talked, they had little cards on the floor too, these cool like little like floor prints of just a bunch of different cards. And so it was mostly that kind of stuff, right? Like really cool like little art installations, and you walk through these buildings. And then we finally got through and we realized like, oh, okay, this building over here, and Jay said too, he's like, I recognize this is the area where the actual like competition is. And because if you don't know, Pokemon Worlds is where they host all of the like the final big grand tournaments for like the TCG, the VGC, the video games, and there's a bunch of different video games. I did not know that they have like essentially a League of Legends Pokemon game. I forgot what it's called, like Pokemon Ultimate or something. Because I had heard the name, I just didn't know what the game was. And or like if you know like StarCraft, like Dota, like what that, like that's kind of more old school, but essentially like yeah, like weird, like it's like a like actual like esports style kind of games, right? Which is just funny to see. I don't know, just thinking of like League of Legends but Pokemon just like cracked me up. And just like, because people like get so obsessed with League too, so I'm just like, oh god, just another time sink for people to fall into if they love Pokemon. But yeah, so we're walking through there, and it was cool because they had like some of the matches and stuff like live broadcasted on the TVs throughout those like mall buildings and whatever. And so we get to the actual venue, and this was cool because while we had been seeing some of the stuff, and like, you know, there's a ton of people walking around, most of the people are there for Pokemon, and Jace was saying this too, and I agreed, where it's like we wanted to just kind of like find an area where people were just like chilling, and it was I don't know, like people that were there for the thing were actually just there doing stuff for the event, right? And we were worried we weren't going to find something like that because we knew we couldn't go into the actual like we could go into the venue, but we couldn't go into like the actual area, like, you know, the competition areas. And but we go into the venue, and we turn to our right, and we just see a giant trading card area for people who want to buy and sell. You had to like buy like a slot, right? And then you can just bring your stuff and you can trade, or you can sell, or you can buy. But if you're just buying, anyone can go in, which is really cool. And it was funny because we turned, and Jace is huge into Pokemon. I like Pokemon cards too. I play One Piece, so it's like that's more of what I care about. I'm not really a big collector, just because like I can't really get into it, just money and time wise as well. But it's just not for me. I like collecting very casually. But, you know, Jace is really serious about it, and it was funny, just I just turning to the right and seeing all the people with all their shit, and I could just see like Jace's face light up. It's so funny. I was really stoked too, though. It was cool, because then we were like, all right, let's check this shit out, because, you know, it's the end of the day too, so it's like all the people who have kind of like maybe have gotten prizes, because there's a lot of like promos and cards that were just given out to like competitors and stuff like that. And bro, there was like, oh my god, there were cards, I mean, going for thousands of dollars. And people there were these boxes, these deck, like the deck, like the Yokohama Worlds like deck, promo box and promo deck box, and like with the deck, I forgot what it's actually called, so that's why I don't know. But super valuable, and some people had it, and Jace kept going around like asking everybody what it's worth. Most of them were like, I'm not selling it, it's just here, or like, do you have $5,000 or whatever? Like, I forgot. So I think it was like 600 bucks maybe was like the average like cheapest price or something like that, which I guess isn't too crazy, but it's a shit ton of money. We bought some stuff, and that's where some people, and some people were kind of like, I don't know, standoffish, and like, because there's a ton of people coming around. You're dealing with like so many different languages too. There's a lot of like non-Japanese Asian people there too, like a lot of like Chinese and like Taiwanese people, a lot of some American dudes, some just all like a huge melting pot, right? And it was cool walking around there. But there's the one group of a couple guys in the back where they just had a bunch of packs too, which is what I was looking for, because I wasn't really looking for anything in particular. And I really wanted to get the just one pack of the I had the box over here, but with the design on it, I could show you. But it's the newer set, the 151 set that came out, one of the most recent 2 sets, and it has a lot of really cool classic cards, like some of the OG Gen 1 Pokemon. And I wanted to get, because it's sold out immediately in Japan, and I couldn't get any. And this guy had some. It was a pack for $10, which is pretty crazy. That's like at least 3 times what a normal pack would be worth, at least. And then I was like, okay, I'll buy one. Bought a few packs of another one. And remember, this is gonna be integral to this story, because I bought one pack, just one pack of the 151. That's it. Jace bought some packs too. They were really nice. It was fun, like kind of talking to them. And then, you know, we looked around a little bit more. We went up and down the hall kind of thing, just checking out some, because they had some cool art up there too. There's some other people chilling. And then we got to see into the actual, like, I guess you could say it's like we were in the venue, and then like the conference hall area, where it's just like a giant, like, I don't even know, it's like so big it's hard to, I don't know what to call it, because you would think of like a giant banquet venue, banquet hall, but it's just huge, just like a huge indoor space, right? It was where they held the actual events, and you couldn't go in if you didn't have the pass, but we could like look in. It looked so sick, dude. They had like one of the entrances, you could see a giant floating Pikachu. The other one had like, we could see a cool like cherry blossom tree that looked like it was made out of like origami or something. And then towards the back, we saw they had all these lanterns, and they were so sick because they had like, I forgot what it was, but they had like Pokemon silhouettes on them as the design for the little lanterns, and they were like hundreds of them hanging on the ceilings. Like, it was really cool. And I checked out some of the videos later for some of like the finals of the TCG and the video games and stuff, and just seeing that, it was really cool, because I'm like watching this thing and I'm like, oh my god, like, dude, it's crazy, because like I was there, you know. I was there probably like I guess it was the day before. I don't think any of the grand finals were probably on the next day, but you know, it was just really cool being there in general. And yeah, we checked that stuff out, walked around a little bit more, but then by that point too, I was just so tired, and it was like, all right, let's just head back. And we ran, so that was awesome. That was our time in Yokohama, and we were going back, and we got back to the station that we needed to transfer just to go back to, I think it was Yokohama station, to get to Shibuya. I ran into this guy, this drunk dude, who like, we blew him off, because sometimes people come up to you, especially there's so many foreigners and travelers right now, where like, he's like, hey, where are you going? Like, kind of like random drunk dude coming up to you being annoying thing, and we blew him off. And then unfortunately we were going the wrong way, and we had to like double back, and fucking ran into him again. And he literally just happened to be going on the exact train that we wanted to go on, so like we were trying to kind of just like lose him, brush him off, but he was being really annoying, and he was drunk, so he just kept following us, and we had to fucking talk to this dude. It's almost ruined my night, because it's like so annoying, this guy, and he was being really loud. It's a Japanese dude, mind you, and so you got 2 white dudes with this guy who like is being super annoying and drunk, and I just wanted to be like the whole time on the train be like, I'm not with this guy, I'm not with this guy. Luckily he got off a few stations before us, but Jesus, dude, it was terrible. Plus the train we were on like stopped. It was like became out of service, which was just like, oh my god. So then we had to wait for the local one to come through, and it took like another extra like 40 minutes to get home, when the whole thing should have only taken like 25-30 minutes. It was ridiculous. Not much worth talking about there though, to be honest. So we get home, or we go to our Airbnb, we eat some dinner on the way, and we sit down to open up some of these packs. And I think this was like the craziest. I've had some really cool pack openings in the past with like some Pokemon and Naruto cards, I believe, because I pulled the third Hokage card that was like the ultimate chase card for a while, the secret rare for one of the, I believe it was like the first 3 or 4 sets, which was really awesome, and that felt cool. And I was dumb enough to like trade it for some stuff. Like, I traded it for a ton of stuff, but in the end it wasn't worth it, and I wish I had just kept on to it, or held on to it. I think I got another one. I bought one like later on, but it's whatever, that was all in the past. But this time, dude, it's crazy. So we're opening, because I have like 4, maybe 3 or 4 packs, 151 and like 3 of these, this other, the Dark Phantasm, or Dark Phantasma, I don't know what it is in English. And Jace got some too, and so we're kind of going back and forth opening the first 1 or 2 packs, nothing really crazy. And then Jace really wanted this Gardevoir card, and he fucking pulled it. He opens up the pack and he's like, whoa, holy shit. Like, he was so stoked, and like, I thought it's a cool card. Like, if it's not a really cool card to me, I don't get as stoked, but it was really cool. And just crazy, because he literally was like, this is the one card I want out of this set, and he got it, which is wild. And so then I go and I open up my 151 pack, and the card I pulled is literally this card right here, Erika's Invitation. This is the chase card, the secret rare alternate art. This is like the #1 chase card from that set. And it was so funny because we were talking about this card, and we had seen it at a card shop that we were at earlier. And I love Erika. Erika, I don't know, she was always my favorite gym leader as a kid, especially the Kanto, like Gen 1 area. And so much though, like, because I loved her kimono and I really like grass types, so she just became my favorite. I even wanted to name my little sister when she was about to be born, and my parents were asking us what we want to name her. I told them to name her Erika, and they were actually debating it. So Jesse, you were almost an Erika, but Jesse is good too. But yeah, it was so crazy because I pulled this card, and like, Jace recognized it immediately, but it took me a second because like, I'm not as familiar with the set, and you know, I'm not like keeping up with everything on Pokemon cards all the time. But I mean, I knew this card, we had talked about it, and I was like, that'd be funny if I pulled this card, huh? Like, we had talked about it earlier that day, or like the day before. And holy shit, dude, it's the only thing, there's a print line on it, and there's like 1 or 2 like kind of imperfections, but Jace was saying it's a PSA 9. I think maybe if I was really lucky it'd be a 9, but I think you could get a PSA 8. So this card ungraded right now is like $230 like USD, but graded good condition going from like 400 to 600 easily. And that's like, the set just came out, so which is crazy. This is the most expensive card I've ever pulled ever in my life, which is really cool. I don't know if I want to sell it though. It's so sick. I got it cased up, I have it on my desk. It's kind of like the perfect little memento too. Normally I like to get little like fridge magnets or little trinkets and little mementos from like little vacations I go on with Asami or family or friends, and this is the most expensive memento I've ever gotten, but it was super hype. I felt bad. I kind of wish Jace had pulled it, because like, I'm a TCG guy through and through, right? I've loved Pokemon cards since I was a little kid, but I'm just not as much of a collector, you know? So yeah, maybe it would have been cooler if Jace had pulled it, but because I love this card and Erika's my favorite, so it really was like kind of meant to be. If it wasn't like a special card to me, I might have even just given it to Jace. But yeah, it's really cool. I pulled this Psyduck too. This Psyduck's really sick. I love the art. Some of the art in these most recent sets have been just amazing. But yeah, so that was wild as shit. I pulled like a $300 to $500 card, and the thing is we were debating this too, me and Jace, but this card will definitely probably go up in price too. So if I hold on to it, you know, there are other kind of alternate art trainer, full art trainer cards that are going for like $1,000+ and stuff. So I don't know if I'll sell it, but just knowing that I have that card, this card, it's so crazy. Really funny. Super hype. The thing is too, it sucked is like this was at like 1 in the morning and I was so fucking tired. But it was hype, man. It was so hype. Kind of made it hard to go to sleep afterwards too, because we just kept on talking and chilling. Felt like one of those sleepovers when you're a kid and you know you need to go to bed, but you just keep talking with your friends. But that was it for Pokemon Worlds, and we woke up the next day and we had a few more spots to hit on the way home. So like I was saying, we were staying in Shibuya, so that morning we went to the Shibuya Pokemon Center, located really close to where we were staying. Like, we were in the city center, like, you know, the Shibuya crossing with the Hachiko dog statue, like not even 5 minutes walking from there, which is why I was so surprised. And it was a nice little place. Like, it was weird, like we stayed, the Airbnb was like across the room from like a guitar school, like a music teacher, a music school, like a private lessons music teacher. So if you just think of like a kind of like a New York kind of like high-rise building where you might go up like that, or a Tokyo high-rise building where there's all this kind of random stuff, but it was a really nice, decent little room. Only thing was the shower, the water pressure was so low, like it was so soft, man. I always think of that Seinfeld episode where everyone's water pressure goes down in the whole building, and like throughout the episode everyone keeps coming back into Jerry's apartment with their hair like it like it can't rinse the shampoo and the conditioner out, and it's all like there's no volume to anyone's hair. They all like come back in and start complaining. It's so funny. I don't know why I loved that episode so much, and it always, whenever there's like low water pressure, I always think of that episode. But yeah, so we hit up the Pokemon Center, which is really cool because I totally forgot about this because I've never been to the one in Shibuya. I normally go to the one in Tokyo Station, which is the little one. But that's because we're traveling and stuff. You're always going through Tokyo Station. But this one is so cool. It has the freaking, you'll see this in the video too if you watch it, but it has like the life-size Mewtwo like in the tube, like from the first movie, like his like incubator tube where he's like this. It's so cool. It's kind of crazy. It's really big, and it's right next to the Nintendo shop too, which I totally forgot there was that. And there's the official Shonen Jump store there too, but they have one of those in Tokyo Station as well, and it was about the same size. You had to like queue up for the line at the Nintendo store. It was crazy. So if you had to like go get a queue ticket, that would like, you'd wait 30 minutes. It was free, which was nice, but you'd have to wait like 30 minutes. So we were like, nah, it's okay. We walked around the Pokemon store, saw some of the stuff, and then they didn't have anything exclusive or anything that we really wanted, so we just chilled in there for a little bit and then dipped. That was really fun though. And you know, then we went, what did we do? I think we went and got some lunch, and then I said goodbye to Jace, and then I came home. So that is the story of what I did last weekend with Jace. That was Yokohama and Pokemon Worlds, and it was really fun, and I hope that was interesting enough for you guys just listening to that. I didn't really have like a full-on proper topic, and I don't know, I don't always do stuff like that. I don't really get to go out and do a lot of things just because of work and being so busy and wanting to work on art stuff. So I really wanted to take the time and just go over like a fun trip with one of the homies, and you know, for people who might be interested in coming to Japan and stuff like that, Yokohama is really cool. So if you get to Tokyo, around Tokyo, everyone wants to go to Shibuya and Shinjuku, and I think it's cool to see, or maybe go for one night. But there really are some other amazing places around Tokyo that you should check out, and Yokohama will always be a big recommendation from me, and I really like it. It's awesome. But yeah, that was it for that. And the other tie-in, right, that I was talking about earlier is like, this was part of that was kind of like my summer vacation. It was only like two extra days off, but it gave me a 4-day weekend. Unfortunately, I got home like Saturday evening, and I was so tired that like it literally took me all week to kind of like recover and just get back to like 100%, which is okay. It's always like you need a vacation after a vacation, which sucks so much. I don't know. I just start to feel so guilty too if I'm not working on like art stuff. Even if I know I really need to relax, I just start to feel so guilty, and like I need to just work on stuff. But like I was saying, this is part of like a little kind of like some time off. Like the Doodle Talks are happening every week. There's no getting around that. But I'm, you know, and I had a lot of fun making this vlog. Like I have I've been produced some videos that will be coming out, right, that are totally different from the Pokemon what if kind of thing. And that's what I really wanted to do, is like take a break from just the art voiceover time-lapse videos and try out some other things. And I still have a few other things I want to try out as well, but the main thing was like take a break, take a step back, like you need to like get out of your house and go do some stuff sometimes in order to, you know, reset your paradigm goggles and like kind of just get a fresh view on everything and be able to look at everything from a distance and kind of take stock and see what's truly working or what you want to actually like focus on more. And it's really important, right, to take a little break, but I also think it's really important not to take too much of a break, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to find the right balance there, because if you're someone like me where like you feel guilty, even like, I don't know, man, it's definitely not good sometimes, where you're just like, oh, I can't go hang out, or like I can't go see people because I really want to just stay home and like work on stuff. It can be kind of a detrimental kind of like feeling, and it's hard to like kind of come to terms with and get a grip on. But for stuff like what I did last weekend, going to Yokohama, and I'm so glad I did. And it was always, I guess the cool thing too is like I made some videos out of it and like got some cool footage while having like a really awesome experience. So I guess that's a little bit of like killing two birds with one stone. And it wasn't just me like filming stuff the whole time, or I wasn't like too time consuming where I didn't get to enjoy it. Like I definitely had tons of time to just like sit back and be in the now and like enjoy it for what it was. So that was a really good balance, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too, is like finding the balance of like taking time off and still working. I don't know, it's a tricky thing, but like I think if you, for as much time as you take off just to relax, you should also try and take off to work on like passion projects, if that makes sense. Like for me, what I really try and do, if I wasn't so tired, like physically tired, it would have been perfect, because what I was planning was to have like the end of Saturday and all of Sunday to kind of work on art stuff, and then I'd still be rested enough to start the work week on Monday, right? Unfortunately, I was just like, I did a little bit of that, but I was so physically exhausted that it was just like recoup and recover on Sunday, which normally isn't the case. So that's kind of the thing, right? So if you're someone like me, here's the thing, right? So if you're someone like me where you start to feel guilty if you're taking too much time off, or if you're not scheduling enough time for work, try and do something like that where it's like a 70-30 kind of thing, right? So like my ideal vacation would be like 3 to 4 days doing something. If you're like with family, like 3 or 4 days of no art, no phone, no nothing, just like doing vacation-y type stuff. And then like 4 days of that. And then I guess this is like more of a 60-40 kind of deal. But you get what I'm saying. 4 days of like doing nothing, or 3 days of doing nothing, and then 2 days or 3 days of like slow recovery, but also just working really hard on art stuff, and then like going back to whatever normal life is. And I think that would be amazing. Obviously this is like unrealistic for most people, including myself, so this is where you have to start making compromises. Like, you don't, I mean, anything longer than like 3 to 4 days is like filled with something else, like going somewhere on a vacation or like doing something else. But like finding just the time to really just do nothing and then regroup, recharge, and then still having enough time off to then focus on like whatever your like hobbies or passion projects are is super important. So if you can just get that cheeky 1 or 2 extra days in, I think it's really worth it. Even if you have to cut your like main vacation thing short. I don't know, this is totally subjective too, because you might be someone who wants to have more vacation time. I actually don't really. After like 3 to 4 days of something, I'm totally good. Like I like want to go back home and just like start, like I'm like, I haven't played piano in 3 days, like I'm starting to go stir crazy here. I'm really weird like that, where like I will start to feel like just like out of my skin if I'm not like at home doing some kind of music or like drawing, and it's really hard for me to kind of do that while traveling. I don't feel comfortable. So yeah, it's hard. This is kind of just, I guess, random and pertains a lot to me, so I don't want to go on too long about it. But it was just interesting, right? Getting back from Yokohama and being like, God, I needed that. But then at the same time, feeling restless and kind of really stressed out about like the actual like little mini vacation I took was amazing and I needed that so much, but God, I need a mini vacation for just doing work, passion projects, kind of things that I want to do. And I thought that was interesting because that's kind of always how I feel when I get back from those kinds of mini vacations, or if I'm really tired, or if I just haven't had any kind of break or vacation, is I really just wish I could have more time to like work on art stuff full time, you know. And I think most artists and anyone starting out, you're going to be in a situation like me where it's like you can't, you know, like work's been really crazy busy right now as I'm trying to like kind of get ahead of everything, so I don't have to work while I'm in Texas. Because when you're a freelancer and you work like project based like I do, you can't really just say like, hey, I'm taking 2-3 weeks off, like I'll come back and then let's just pick up where we left off. It doesn't really work like that when you're working with clients all the time, and you have like essentially like a monthly schedule where like it may not be the same projects you're doing every month, but it's kind of like there's a certain amount that you're kind of like used to having, and that the people you're working with are used to giving you. It gets really complicated, and it's kind of hard to just take that time off. So you have to, you have to make up for it in other ways, and one of those ways is just like working overtime for like 3 weeks and trying to catch up on, like, get ahead of stuff. And unfortunately that means I just have like almost no time for art stuff outside of work, and it means you're more tired, you're more stressed out, and it's like it's just like a compounding kind of like terrible thing that happens, and you have to do it. There's always ups and downs, right? The past few months before this, I had a lot less work. I was able to do so much more art stuff, and it was really nice. But now I'm in another period where it's a lot of translating work and stuff like that. And while I'm grateful to have the work, I really wish I could just work more on art stuff. And I'm struggling to find the time and balance for that, because I'm also trying to keep learning Blender. I'm still working on Blender. It's going good. I'm getting a lot better. I'm getting used to the software a lot more, and I've already started kind of like the basics of like working on some of the little creative projects that I want to do for that, and that's really exciting too. But yeah, just a little overworked and stressed out right now. And while I'm really looking forward to going back home to Texas, like that's gonna be another awesome little break, but just already kind of like does anyone else feel like this, where you're gonna go on a vacation and I'm already dreading like the feeling of like not being able to work on art stuff, I don't know, I'm just being completely honest here. I don't know if that's good. The good thing is like I'm so excited to see all my friends and family, and I'm going to love spending the time there, like with them while I'm there, and I would not trade any of that for the world. But I'm probably gonna be like freaking out inside, and it's probably gonna take me like mentally like a month to like mentally recover from just being like not beating myself up, like to stop beating myself up, or like if I'm not able to jump back into like art stuff right away or get some art stuff done while I'm traveling, like it's gonna suck. I can already tell, like I already know the feeling. So that kind of sucks too. I think I need to work on that. Maybe I can get better at like just internalizing some of this stuff. It's just when you're trying to make it as an artist, like lost time just feels like you're just killing yourself, because you're like, man, if I really want to do this, I gotta go for it. But then if I don't do it properly, if I don't really put 100% of myself into it, it's like you're just wasting time, you know? And I guess that's really the core of it, right? Because what I was trying to say earlier is like, how do you find the balance of like wanting to give 100% of yourself into the passion, the thing that you love so much, but like don't get lost in the sauce, right? How to not get lost in the sauce, and to like pull yourself back and like make sure you're enjoying life and like being present, being in the moment, as Jace would call it, the eternal present. Had some fun conversations with that, but I'll borrow his term, like how to be in the eternal present, and but still not freak out that you're not like posting a YouTube video or like whatever and stuff like that, right? It's hard, man. It's really hard. And like I'm acknowledging all these things, right? And I know that it sounds bad when I just say it like that, where I'm like, half the time after seeing people or coming back from vacation, it's just like I would so much rather just be doing art, like working on things that I really want to work on. And I don't know, I guess there's a fine line. I'm really curious to know if other people feel like this, because I've kind of talked about it with other people, but I don't think I've talked about it this specifically with other people. So I'm curious to know if you've ever felt like that, or what you do, or if even if it's not like the art side of things, but like where you're like, I know some people is like, oh, I can't stand my family, I don't want to go on vacation, but like I love my family, I love all my friends, which is like maybe even worse, where it's like I don't know, because I'm still right, like I said, I'm still enjoying the time I'm with them, but I get so antsy and I start to freak out if I'm not like working on art stuff. So yeah, I don't even know. There's no answer to that one. That's just something that I'm really curious about. I'm gonna try and pay attention to this when I go back to Texas and like coming back. I'm gonna really try and like just be objectively observant of like how I handle it and see how I'm feeling and stuff. It's kind of interesting. But until then, I'm gonna try my darndest to get a bunch of stuff done until then, like up until then, and have a few more videos coming out. And I hope you enjoyed this little recap. Like I said, this was just a chill episode and not a lot of art stuff, but some cool stories and a lot of fun experiences. I'm so glad I went to Yokohama. I had a lot of fun. Jace, thanks for coming. Really glad you came, and thanks for hanging out. And if you made it this far, thank you. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.